This is your PIR for Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. All the facts you need to know for the Patriot on the go. Patriots of the world, I hope you're doing well. Announcements. Yes, I have an announcement to make. I had the pleasure of doing an interview with Scotty Sachs of Sovereign Radio, and I was also joined by Jim P.2 of the God is Government website. godisgovernment.com. You can find that there. And the topic was Ukraine. Ukraine. And it's quite a talk we had. Very interesting. And it's going to be airing on Sovereign Radio in Abilene, Texas this Saturday. Now, I will be giving a link for the Sovereign Radio website where you can listen live, and I'll have the time there. I'll put that in on Friday so you can find it. But again, that's an interview with Scotty Sachs and Jim P.2 about Ukraine on Sovereign Radio. So be sure and check that out. Let's see what else. That's about it for announcements. Let's get right into it. Item 1, space weather, brought to us by Laura Walker of the OracleReport.com. A common focus of love unites people today. Patriots, pioneers, and people on the path of truth are enlisted to support each other. The energies warn or alert us to trouble or hazards from darker forces that are creating a narrative with today's Mercury-Neptune conjunction, which is exact at 1:36 p.m. Eastern Time today. The narrative they are weaving involves being lost or found. Are we lost in their chaos, or found in the highest and the light of spiritual communion? Are we forced into their compromises, or free to align with a divine purpose? Stay the course, hold the line, and stick to your beliefs. We are walking love's path. Very good and very timely. Yeah, these are some interesting energies. I'll talk about this a little later, but yeah. Stay the course, hold the line, and stick to your beliefs, no matter what anybody says, okay? Yeah, we'll get more into that in just a moment. All right. Item 2, economics, currencies, cryptos, equities, and precious metals. No major changes up or down of 10% or more in any market. So, yeah, taking a look at U.S., Europe. Yeah, just a mix, red and green, but again, barely over 1% on anything. Taking a look at gold, silver, and crude oil. Gold is up to $1,929. Silver is currently at $25.16 a troy ounce. Spot prices, of course. Crude oil, $112.35. No major change from yesterday on that. So, yeah, nothing major to report economically. But there are things going on, without a doubt. Let's see what else. Let's get right into the next topic. Item 3, geopolitical. Oh, wow, did you see this? In Beverly Hills, right? A high-end store, jewelry store, this smash and grab thieves. You've seen this where thieves go in with hammers and heavy implements and break display cases, windows, etc., and just steal things, grab it, and run out. They actually had a smash and grab group of thieves go into a jewelry store in Beverly Hills. It was a very high-end jewelry store, and they stole millions of dollars in jewelry. Seriously, they were able to grab literally millions of dollars in broad daylight. They didn't even care, right in front of everybody. So, yeah, California. Absolutely amazing. Sad. Hunter Biden. You know, the New York Times acknowledgement of the laptop from hell indicates that lawyers for the Biden crime family are extremely concerned that Hunter Biden is going to be indicted. Yeah, a lot of criminal stuff there. Remember, 10% to the big guy. Yeah, the corruption of Hunter Biden, and how he's been paid out by multiple foreign governments and entities, and how his father's involved also is absolutely amazing. You know, you have to think, if this were the Trump family, could you imagine that, say, Donald Trump's son, whenever he was president, was like taking millions of dollars from like China or Russia or Ukraine or wherever? Oh man, it would have been front page news 24/7. They would have been going after him, his whole family. They would have like arrested them all. You know that. But oh yeah, give Hunter a pass. But I don't think for long. I mean, because there is word out there that potentially Durham is going to be bringing out some big things and putting out some classified documents, if you will, declassified, of information about the Russia hoax. Yeah, this is all going to come around. You know, the question that a lot of people have, and Scotty Sachs actually brought this up during the interview. He said, will there be accountability? Because so many people are wondering, like, when? You know, I saw some people talking, they're like, the military is really in control? Really? You know, do something, because people have gotten kind of dismayed by not seeing any major action, by seeing what appears to be just criminal activity going unchecked and unabated. And it's frustrating for people. It's frustrating. But yes, there will be. There will be. And no, I know it seems like it's taking forever, and it always does when you're waiting for something like this. But it's the grinding gears of justice, which grinds slow but fine. So hopefully we'll see something with that very soon. Hang in there, though. Let's see, what else do we have geopolitically? Yeah, what's going on in Russia is continuing on Ukraine, and it's getting pretty intense. We actually have NATO. They're going to be having an emergency meeting. We'll have to see what comes out of this. But Poland and Poland is talking about actually sending in peacekeeping forces or doing a no-fly zone. This could escalate quite a bit. Now, also, there's a lot of talk, and I've heard people say, and the United States saying some pretty odd things, saying that Russia has lost 90% of their military power there, and that the Russian military is being beaten. They've had 10,000 people killed. Well, now, if there were 10,000 people killed, you'd think maybe, just maybe, there'd be a couple pictures of it. I mean, come on. 2022. Everybody has a phone, a cell phone, and the Ukrainian soldiers love to take pictures of their victories, their toys, or whatever if they defeat something. And it's just not out there. There's a lot of psyops going on, psychological operations, and I was just telling someone yesterday, we will not know the true situation until smoke clears. I mean, there are some sit reps coming from there. Let's see, locally, let me see what I got here. I do have some information. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That actually came through. And what it is a situation report from the ground there. And basically, here's what it says. It says very heavy combats are going on near Advikia and Mariupol. Combat has been pretty much everywhere in the line of contact, which results in a slow positional warfare with artillery exchanges and very careful mopping up building by building and even room by room. On average, Russian forces advance between 5 to 20 kilometers per day, which is rather fast against a defense in depth prepared for years. The key cities of Kiev and Odessa are almost completely blocked, but not fully surrounded yet. The Black Sea Fleet, which is the Russian fleet, basically controls the entire Ukrainian coast and all of the Black Sea itself. The Black Sea Fleet also prevents any resupply of Odessa from Romania. Russia has full air superiority over the entire Ukrainian airspace. The Ukrainians are still firing both Tocha-U and Grad/Smerch missiles in the general direction of liberated cities, just to create as many casualties as possible. But the Russians have become very skilled at not only shooting down these missiles, the destruction ratio has gone up very sharply, but also destroying the key Ukrainian ammo dumps where they hide those missiles. This is what happened with the big building in downtown Kiev just a couple of days ago, which the Russians totally vaporized with one perfectly aimed Iskander missile. So that's the most current sit rep I have from that area, on the ground. I saw some footage of Mariupol and what's going on. It is really, this is some intense urban warfare, people. Don't get caught up in a lot of the media claims that, the Ukrainians are, marching to victory and the Russians are down, or even the other side, that the Russians are, marching to victory. We don't know. The fog of war is intense, and the reporting is light out of the area because it's so dangerous, and we really won't know till the smoke clears. Okay? So, also, Russell Bentley, who you may have heard me interview a few times on Patriot Intel Report, he is missing. Yeah, somebody contacted me and who is getting sit reps from Russell about what's going on, and he hasn't been seen for a while. So we are not sure what happened and hope that he is okay. But yeah, it's pretty intense. This is a very serious situation, and we hope the best for the innocent ones, that they would be protected, and those of evil intent would get what's coming. Alrighty, let's see what else geopolitically. Taking a look at everything. Yeah, it's about the big deal right now, without a doubt. Watching this closely. Now, this meeting we have this weekend, where Poland and part of NATO are trying to push for a possible no-fly zone. This could escalate things quickly. Now, also all this talk of a Russian cyber attack, and they're laying the groundwork that if there is a cyber attack in the United States, it takes down vital infrastructure or any NATO country, that it could invoke Article 5 of NATO. And Article 5 of NATO means when any NATO country is attacked, the rest come to their aid militarily. And if they say it was Russia, that would invoke NATO, and it could get interesting really quick. Okay? So these are very serious times. This is not a joke. This is warfare like people haven't seen before. This is a major military action. This isn't ISIS or the Taliban or Iraqi insurgents. We're talking main battle tanks, armored personnel carriers. We're talking missile systems, cruise missiles on both sides. Very, very intense. We're talking nuclear submarines. Yeah. So, we'll keep an eye on this. We'll pray and hope for the best, and that this gets resolved peacefully. And again, that all of those of evil intent get what's coming, and all those who are innocent be spared. But it is quite tragic. We're going to see devastation like you haven't seen in a long time. This is like they're laying cities to waste. It is very intense. Mariupol, the reason Mariupol is so important, because whoever controls there controls the Sea of Azov, and which is very strategic. In the Azov battalion, very strong right-wing sector and the right sector are there, and they are not giving up. They were holding a lot of civilians, I think like 150,000 still, as human shields. They've been hiding their military equipment in schools and hospitals and shopping malls and all of this. And Russia's basically made a corridor, and they're helping people escape to the best of their ability, the civilians. And once all civilians get out that they can, they are going to light it up. So anyway, keep that in mind. But we will see what happens this weekend. It could escalate, but stay positive, okay? All right, let's go on to our next topic. We'll watch that very closely. That is the big geopolitical thing right now. Item 4, Earth changes. Yeah, taking a look at things. We have some flooding in Spain. A few places damaged, heavy rain. Here in the northern hemisphere, North America, it's kind of warm temperatures right now. It has been since the first day of spring here, but they're saying we could get the polar vortex coming back down. It'll be on the move, and we could have some very cold temperatures right here in spring, and possibly even snow. So I wouldn't put those snow shovels away yet, and just be on the lookout. We could get one or two more very unusual blast of cold. Again, earth changes. That is what's going on right now. Let's see what else. That's about it. Alrighty, item 5, tip of the day. Tip of the day I have for you kind of ties in with space weather, where she said, stay the course, hold the line, and stick to your beliefs. There are a lot of people right now, and I've been talking to people, I've been seeing people write things. People are becoming discouraged. People are becoming afraid, almost fatalistic, like woe is me, all is lost. It's kind of interesting, but sad to watch people. And it's tough when you're surrounded with people just like, all is lost. Nothing is going to work. Nothing is happening. This is, just nothing's going to happen. It's tough because sometimes people kind of get prompted into that. And early this morning I was thinking of all people, General George Washington. The general who led the Continental Army in the Revolutionary War to victory and became the first president of the United States. They actually wanted to make him king. He's like, no, I'm not going to be a king. And that's before we even really decided what form of government the United States would be. They were putting it all together. But, I was thinking about him because he was facing defeat. He was surrounded by all types of sorrowful things going on. When they were at Valley Forge in the winter before they crossed the Delaware, things were kind of bleak. People didn't have proper clothing. There wasn't enough food. There was no pay. But people stuck in there, but many people went home. People gave up. Like all is lost. And I was wondering this morning, we hear all these stories and things about General Washington, being a prayerful man and taking things to prayer. And, I wondered, how many times did he actually have the thought that possibly everything was lost? But he had to persevere. He had to say no. He had to stick to the course. He had to hold the line. And not only that, he encouraged those around him and eventually led them on to victory. But you know what? It was, like I said, a sorrowful time. And we're in those times right now. There are people who are potentially looking for something financial to happen. A lot of people are in different investments of different types. And it's almost as if everything is on hold. And people say, have the evil ones taken control of everything? Will the cabal actually win? Is the military really in control? And people are beginning to wonder. People are beginning to lose their faith. But you know what? Like General George Washington held the line and encouraged other people around him to hold the line. There was victory. But he was on the precipice of potential defeat and disaster. Because I will remind you, many of the signers of the Declaration of Independence that went to King George didn't fare too well. Their farms were burned, things were seized, they were hunted down and killed, some of them. It was a difficult time. By standing up to the deep state of the day, the British government, and daring to stand up to the most powerful army in the world at the time, it was a very daring and almost fatalistic thing. And they actually kind of reached the point of no return. And I believe General Washington had no choice. And I believe we're at that point of no return right now, and we don't have a choice to give up. Don't give up, okay? The tip of the day I have for you is hold the line, keep the faith, and don't give up. Even if everyone around you says, woe is me, all is lost. Say no. Stand firm. Hold the line. Keep your dream. General Washington did. He held the dream. He ended up, it was victory. It was the birth of a new nation. It was freedom from tyranny. It was, a new day. And we will have that new day. And tyranny will be defeated. And even though it seems like they have the upper hand now and there's like no victory in sight, That's always the way it is before the victory. I'll remind you of what I've said before many times. When you seem like you have no choices, like you are totally out of all options and all is lost, you are in the space where miracles happen. Because that is when miracles happen. Miracles happen, and the seeds of great miracles are planted in the soil of despair, of loss, of what seemingly is no victory or no choice or no chance. And for a lot of people, they're feeling that way right now. Tip of the day I have for you is stay the course, keep the faith, and know that you know. Hold the vision that you will be victorious, that you will be healthy, that you will be abundant, that your family will be well, that you will live a good life, and that this nation and all nations of the world will be free from tyranny and warfare and biolabs and the cabal and all of that, that this will be resolved. But again, we are in a spiritual warfare, people. Seriously, that's gone kinetic. These are some times that require faith and fortitude. So the tip of the day I have for you is don't give up. Don't give up. Even if everything around you and everyone around you says, woe is us, it's over. Hold the line. Stay the course. Do not give up. Okay? That's my tip of the day. Never give up. Ever. Ever. General Washington didn't. He held the line. He stayed the course, and he ended up, being the first president of the United States, and his home, Mount Vernon, beautiful place, and he lived a happy and abundant life with his family. Abundance and joy. But there was a time when things weren't looking so good, and that may be the time we're in right now, or you may be feeling that, or knowing someone's going through that. I'm seeing it myself, people around me. It's a hard time. It really is. So encourage others to hold the line, to stay the course, but more so yourself. Know inside of you that everything will turn around, no matter what it looks like or no matter what anyone says. That's where victory comes from. That's where success comes from. That's where winners come from. How many people do you think have been told by everyone, all is lost, you'll never make it? And I've seen this over and over and over. People who have been so down on their luck because their business fell through or something, they're digging through their couch for change, trying to buy milk and bread. And now they're millionaires, successful business, all kinds of assets. I knew one fellow that I'm familiar with was in a car, so living in his car, and ended up starting his own business. And it's interesting, the business he started and what his vision was and what he did, everybody told him, don't do it. His family said, don't do that. You need to go out, apply for a few jobs, get a steady job, get an apartment, and just do this. And he chose not to. And everybody said, well, he just made a big mistake. He's going to be a disaster. He's a multimillionaire now and successful with a successful business. And he went pretty quick, too. I mean, from a year and a half, 2 years from being totally down and out to very successful. It can happen quickly. So things can turn around on a dime. And there's stories after stories. Mike Lindell, the pillow guy. Look at him. He was a drug addict. Everybody had written him off. Mike, man, he's down on his luck and he'll never be anything. Oh, yeah? Check him out now. So, again, tip of the day I have for you is to hold the faith, stay the course, and know that you will have victory, okay? If you're anticipating something, envision it. If you are hoping for something, look for it, okay? That's how things are manifest. That's how dreams become reality, okay? Kind of a long tip of the day, but I think it's very important for everybody right now because, I see it around me, and you probably do too. And you may even feel it yourself. So, you know what? Keep the dream. keep the dream. That is my tip of the day. Alrighty, last but not least, go to Prophetic Word of the Day by Doug Addison. Doug has for us today, March 23rd, 2022. The Lord is going to give you insight into the past that will prepare you for the future. Very good. Not sure what that means. We'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah, this is some interesting times, people. So that's it, everyone. Short, sweet, and to the point for today. Till tomorrow, be well, stay alert. Remember, keep the dream going. Never, ever, ever give up. Also, remember, where we go one, we go all. God bless.